Hello everybody, it's time once again for our nightly Halloween story. Tonight we got one coming from 101 Dalmatians, Detective Lucky. A blustery wind was blowing outside, but the Dalmatian puppies, all 99 of them, were snug and cozy in their house. The puppies crawled around Nanny, who was reading them a bedtime story. Lucky loved bedtime stories. He especially loved the ones about detectives. He wished he could be a detective. When Nanny's story was over, Pongo and Perdita tucked the puppies into bed. But Lucky wasn't tired, not even a little bit. He couldn't stop thinking about all the mysteries he would solve if he were a detective. One by one, the other puppies drifted off to sleep. Soon Lucky was the only one still awake. Suddenly, his ears twitched. Crack, squick, bang. There was a strange sound. Lucky bolted upright. Maybe this was it, the mystery he had wished for. Maybe the sound was a clue. Lucky carefully climbed out of bed. His parents were in the living room with Roger and Anita. No one noticed if Lucky slipped through the doggy door. He could go outside, find some clues, crack the case, and be back before anyone ever knew he had left. Lucky scampered outside. He looked around. He had never been outside alone at night. The wind had died down, but it was very dark all around him. Lucky saw strange shadow shapes. Lucky thought about going back inside, but he knew that a true detective would solve the case no matter what. If he wanted to be a detective, he'd have to go on, dark or no dark. Lucky sniffed the air. The unfamiliar smell made his nose twitch. Maybe it was another clue. Lucky pressed his nose down to the dirt and sniffed again. There it was, the smell. His tail wagged, and he followed the scent into the woods. This was exactly what a real detective would do, though Lucky thought eagerly as he tracked the smell to a hollow log. Lucky poked his head into the log to see what was inside. He found two spooky eyes staring back at him. Lucky yelped in surprise. He backed out of the log as quickly as he could and ran right into the tree trunk. Strange noise filled the air. Lucky felt something brush by his head. Hoo, ho, ho, ho. Flap, flap, whoosh. Lucky was surrounded by spooky sounds, and he didn't know what was making any of them. And to make matters worse, he had been so busy tracking the smell, he hadn't noticed how far he had roamed. He had no idea where he was or how to get home. There was only one thing to do: run. It was Sergeant Tibbs, the cat who helped rescue Lucky and his siblings from Cruella de Vil. Sergeant Tibbs, Lucky cried in relief. Help, I'm lost. I don't know how to get back home. Frightened kid knew just what to do. He led Lucky to the old barn where the two told Colonel in on Lucky's situation. No question about it. We got to get this pup back to the Dalmatian plantation, the Colonel announced. But it was too late for the twilight bark, I'm afraid. Lucky's heart sank. You mean I had to stay here all night? He asked. No need for that, the Colonel said kindly. This call is for midnight bark. Colonel lumbered over to the door and howled into the night. Lucky waited anxiously for a response. At least it came. Bark, bark, bark. Yuck, 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 yuck. Arf, arf, arr. Bark echoed around the courtyard to the Dalmatian plantation, where a sleeping Pongo opened his eyes. It's a lost pup, he whispered to Perdita. I'll go help. Alright, following the bark, they led you home again, the Colonel told Lucky. Good luck, lad. Thank you, Lucky told the Colonel and Sergeant Tibbs. Then, listening closely, he ran into the night. The Colonel was right. Following the sound of the bark, Lucky soon realized he was on the path home. And now that he was less scared, Lucky was able to solve the mystery that they stumbled upon. That cranky old gate that had started it all. Back at the Dalmatian plantation, Pongo was shocked to see Lucky bound up to him. Midnight bark was for you, he asked. Dad, I solved the mystery, Lucky explained. Just like a real detective. Tell me all about it in the morning, Pongo whispered as he led Lucky back to bed. And no more mysteries tonight. Lucky agreed and snuggled up next to his siblings, ready to fall asleep after his big adventure. Suddenly, his ears twitched. Croak, squeak. What was that strange sound? Maybe it was a clue. Alright, and that was tonight's story. I do hope you enjoyed it. So until we see each other again tomorrow, bye-bye for now.